Alright, I think I've got everything good. Time to get started, I hope. Kinda hoping that Jens shows up in a chat soon. Right now, I think it's just, according to the viewer list, it's just you right now, Satiro. And, yeah. Kinda hoping that Jens shows up. Would be kind of beneficial. He'll probably show up like a minute later, so I don't know what he's doing, so I'm just gonna quickly get set up with the scene. I think I've got everything prepared. Thing with working on things that come from Jens is I need to set them up for cycles first. This is a fairly straightforward and uninteresting process. I decided to do that before I started streaming. If the music volume is too loud, then I'll just say, because I think I tweaked the volume on my end. Actually, I think it is too loud. Yeah, I think that's the volume it used to be at. Correct me if I'm wrong with the whole volume thing. Alright. Now, Jens said he wanted me to make some kind of like office like scene for this, so I'll start by doing the usual. Taking a plane, scaling it up a bit, extruding it, inverting the faces. Okay, maybe not that high. Something like that. That should do the trick. Alright, make it a little bit bigger. Something like that, and I'm thinking currently like what kind of an office I want to make this be. Like I'm thinking maybe something like with like cubicles. We can interesting enough like to do something like that. Figure out something like making it look docked over or something. But yeah, I'll see what I'm gonna do. Alright, for starters, I think actually how am I going to do this? No, actually I just realized I didn't post in the thread that I'm streaming. I quickly do that just in case somebody wants to know. Probably not, but doesn't harm to tell people. Alright. I have to quickly link it. Alright, there we go. Posted. And again, still hasn't showed up. That's not encouraging. But I'm just gonna have to deal with it now. Alright, I'm going to add a cube to cut out the windows. Right now the setup is Very similar to the scene with Sarah that I made a couple of days ago. Since it's also an office building. I mean, there's only so many permutations of office building before you run out. Alright, select the outside, the room shell and boolean, the cube, difference, apply, and delete the cube because I'm not going to be using it again. And oops, select the big useless faces and triangulate them. There we go, and get rid of these faces. Alright, should about do the trick. Because I'm going to have to adjust the wall thickness to be about the same on both sides, on all three sides. Doesn't need to be perfect because it's background, and I don't even think you'll really be able to tell wall thickness from any camera angle. Well, any sensible camera angle anyway. I'm going to just make the room a bit bigger because offices are big. Still kind of bummed that Jens isn't here yet. Doing this for him after all. Alright. Flip those normals. Top view and scale so that's roughly square. Scale it up a bit. Move it to the corner like that. Duplicate it and move it to this corner. That's not quite properly positioned. There, much better. Delete faces and simple. We'll probably add more details as I go along, but for the start, that's good enough. All right. Now, office props. Going to need a few of them, and I have a bunch of them in the FBI building. Going to take a cabinet. The chairs could be useful. Coffee might be something that would be lying around. So I'm going to take a computer, the copiers, small desks. Not sure I'm going to have any doors visible, so I'm just going to leave them out for now. Keyboard, monitor, mouse with mouse pad, a couple of office chairs so I can select which one I want. Shredders because you have shredders lying around in offices. I think that's it. Should be it, I think. Going to move them all together and scale them appropriately. And yeah, I'm probably going to have to individually scale them again. If I were a smart person, which I am not, I would probably have taken the props from the other building that I had, the office interior from the Sarah render. But yeah, I think this will be fine. Just going to quickly separate them. Okay, that chair is too fancy. I guess that one's fine. Here's that shredder, a chair, a desk that is stuck in the floor. There we go. Computer, which I'm going to have to do something with the desktop background image thing. Coffee, and probably going to grab some other office type props later. Alright, I'm gonna grab this desk. I'm not entirely sure where exactly on this scene in this room I'm going to build this scene. Probably close enough to the window so you can see out of them, because that'll probably give the scene a little bit more interesting effect. But I can't be 100% certain what I'm going to do until I'm at that point. Alright, what I'm going to do next. I kind of want to leave doing the pose until Jens shows up, because not 100% certain on what exactly he wanted. So before I just go ahead and do anything and do something wrong, waste my time, I'm just going to excuse me, going to wait and see what he has to say. Alright, the desktop image here, I think the texture came with the default texture came with it has a okay background. It's technically supposed to be from the Mac knockoff, but I don't even think it would be possible to see. Alright. Going to take all of this and move them up to the desk. That way I can just like have a preset construction sort of for the other computers, and I can just copy paste and then make permutations of as necessary. I'm just gonna have everything sort of line up properly. Now, I'm going to take all of them, move them actually out of the scene, because it's sort of like my master copy. And then just move as required. Now, still debating whether I should go with a office with cubicles or if I should make something like a little bit more open. Kind of depends on what kind of office it's supposed to be. Like, where is it? Like, is it a modern office? Is it an older one? What kind of company is it? All thoughts that may or may not have to occur to make a render good. Because one thing I realized is what makes a big difference in renders is the attention to detail. Like, you can tell when somebody thought clearly and about their render and thought it through properly. And you can also clearly tell when somebody didn't. When you have like nonsensical backgrounds or empty scenes that just don't look anywhere near what you'd expect a scene like that to look in real life. Like, for example, in this case of the photographers and adding slight rotation to these items, because in real life you wouldn't be able to rotate them perfectly, and they would get moved during the process of work. Like you rotate your monitor to show a co-worker what you're doing, or something like that. And yeah, so that kind of stuff is I wouldn't say critical, but it does make a big difference. I'm going to quickly grab the clipboard and scale it down to be at least somewhat proper. I think that's about right. Excuse me. Hope I'm not catching anything. I've got an interview tomorrow. Alright, let's get this. Actually, I'm gonna make a copy of it first and put it somewhere else. There we go. Alright. Now for this one, I'm going to remove the clipboard part of the clipboard. Just keep the paper. So I'm going to select the paper and invert that selection to only select the paper. And now I can copy and paste some papers that could be anything really, but let's say these are like, I don't know, earning lists or something, I don't know. I am not an office person, so anything office related I really don't know much about. But what I do know about paper is that it doesn't clip through, stuff like that. Alright, and I'm going to grab the folders as well, which I didn't grab earlier. I think they were about 0.1, maybe a tad smaller. Have some of those here. Oh, that's a bit far to the ground. Table. Have them over there or something. Should do the trick. I think I am going to go with cubicles, so I'm going to put a couple of filing cabinets in here. And of course I'm going with cubicles. I need to build the dividers because I don't have any. But shouldn't be too difficult. Basically, cubicles are just plastic dividers. Like the dividers for cubicles, I mean, just kind of plastic things. Alright, actually I don't know if plastic is the right material. Probably is plastic, but I do not know such things for sure. So, as basically with anything I say, do not quote me on this. It's most likely wrong. So, scale it something like this. And maybe, I don't know, scale it up a bit. It's a little bit short right now. And then when standing up, you should almost be able to look over them. So something like this should do fine. Now, because just flat plastic like that would be boring, I'm just going to insert a little bit of this and then insert a again and insert one last time, and then select the edge here. Oh hey, but just nah, you didn't miss much. Basically just the beginning ramblings and me carving out a room. Nothing fancy. So you're still here for you're still going to be here for the most of the work. It's only been like 10 minutes now. It's going to take a lot more than 10 minutes in the end. Alright, and for some reason this isn't scaling linearly. Fine. Too insignificant of a detail to matter. So, how are you guys doing today? And don't get used to me streaming every day. This is only like me trying to get back into the correct rhythm. We'll be streaming on Thursday again though, so it's gonna be fun. I think, at least. Maybe. Depends. Depends if I found something fun to do. I mean, ultimately it's entirely possible I don't have an idea what I'm gonna be doing. So yeah. I'm doing fine, thanks. Just, you know, had to do some work in the house today. Still remodeling the kitchen. Not fun and not my choice of occupation for the day, but just how it's just how it goes. 12 should be enough. This is a small detail. It's a Jens with an E. Did I spell it wrong somewhere? I bet I spelled it wrong somewhere, didn't I? Oh my god, I did. I'm an idiot. Now I'm happy that the answer wasn't here. Don't any one of you dare tell him. Alright. Delete these faces. Select these and let's see how deep I can go. Okay. Extrude this. Good, make sure it stays forgotten. Didn't happen, okay? Alright, that's good. And on a PY. And whoops. No, not smooth. What is it? Shade smooth, that's the one. Alright, this one I'm going to be a little bit more precise about. Except I can't be precise on this side because I already blocked everything. So, screw precision. I'm just going to eyeball it. Get these the material, or at least something I'm going to put material on. Going to grab a bunch of materials now. Specifically, the metal material. And I'm also going to grab a concrete wall. Where's the metal? Ah, there it is. Join these together. Give them metal material. No, the room is an office of some sort. I'm currently building cubicles. So, not entirely sure what kind of an office it is. Haven't decided that yet. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to give this a new material, call it divider. I can type, I swear. Join this together. Going to definitely edit these individually to be scaled differently. Nah, I don't know if perfect is the right word. Good? Maybe. Perfect? I don't know. Perfect is a word that you can very, very rarely use around an artist. They will always tell you, no, perfect is something completely different, it's a mythical thing that does not exist. I'll leave the judging for when it's done. It's just, it's, yeah, I mean, I don't like putting the cart before the horse, if you will. So, I'll leave all the judging to happen for when I'm done. I mean, I will judge my things negatively. Like, if I realize, what the hell am I doing, this is going nowhere, then I will stop a render, but I never go ahead and say, oh, this render is going to be great, I don't need to worry about it anymore. Because that attitude is just going to cause you to have bad renders, basically. As strange as it sounds, the more confident you are that your renders are perfect, the less quality your renders will have. Because if you think something is perfect, you stop looking at it critically. I'm not saying that you should be harsh on yourself. That's not at all what I'm trying to say. What I'm saying is you need to stay critical. If you start falling to, yes, I'm doing great, I don't need to improve anymore, is a natural consequence of that. And it's, the fact of the matter is, you're never going to be perfect and don't need to improve anymore. Everybody always has room for improvement. And as long as you realize this, that's fine. You don't need to go all, I hate myself, I can't render properly, because that's just as destructive. But you also shouldn't, like, go around and say, yeah, I'm good, I feel good about myself. Okay, not like that. You should be able to feel good about your renders. Have renders where you can say, yep, I did a good job on this one. But you shouldn't enter you shouldn't start Blender up without being ready to tell yourself that you need to improve something. It's just yeah. Yeah, the tire smoke. Sorry that I couldn't show you how to do that, but yeah, it's just timing. The render I'm most proud of? That is a good question. What render am I most proud of? Very good question. That's actually a tough one. I have to think about that one for a bit. Your fault, sleep, no way. It was my fault for starting so late. I started like what was it, 11? So no, it's not your fault. Ideally, I shouldn't have started streaming that late, but yeah, it just happens. And yeah, my favorite, or at least, do you see most proud of and favorite as synonymous? Because favorite I can answer, because I do have a favorite, but I'm not sure which one I'm most proud of. Because Well, I've got a couple of favorites. But my favorite render, or my most proud work. Yeah, I guess I could be, but they don't have to be synonymous. Shoot. I'm always open to suggestions. I'm also open to suggestions on how to pronounce things. So if you've got any ideas, suggestions, whatever, shoot. Worst thing I can do is say that it's not what I'm going for. Alright. Let's let me get a copy over here. Oh, you mean wait, hold on. Do you mean the one with Young Whiskey, the one where she's wearing the tank top? Ah, yes, okay, that's the one. I gotta say, from render ideas, that is probably one of my favorite ones story-wise. I'm actually kind of disappointed with how it turned out technically, because I was rather lazy with it. The background was nowhere near as decorated as it should have been. But the poses, well, I was pretty happy with it. It was one of those renders that I had planned for ages, like very, very long, but it depended on many factors. Like, for starters, I needed a Young Whiskey for that one. And slider copying is a long and boring process. And I just couldn't motivate myself to do that for very long. Until eventually I was just like, well, it was just, it had to happen at some point because I couldn't just stay on my main whiskey all the time, because sometimes renders just require you to make modifications to your characters. Like, for example, for a younger whiskey, I actually did some modifications on her shape. I increased the eyelid, like the eye size slightly. I opened the eyelids a little bit, and I rounded out the cheeks a little bit to make her look younger. And I also removed all makeup. And it took me a while to get the pose right, because what was trying to do is basically, first of all, actually, context. That scene specifically was Whiskey's first kill in self-defense. In that scene, she killed her uncle, who was trying to do bad things, and it was an accident. She didn't mean to kill him. Well, she did mean to kill him, but she didn't want to, if you understand what I'm trying to say. And it was difficult to get that kind of emotional depth. It's you have to be very careful to not overstate individual aspects of a render like that. And yeah, it is very dark. It's not a nice thing. I mean, you can clearly tell that she's not enjoying herself in that render. And I felt like a piece of shit for the entire day while after working on it. And yeah. But it's just, in the end, the way I did I do my renders and my character stories is, I don't really care so much about making a happy story. Because happy stories, I'm not saying that happy stories are bad or boring. It's more that they're harder to work with on a like it not harder to work with, just maybe the wrong way of putting it. Oh hey Ants, when you get there. Must have been just now, right? Trying to get some kind of office environment here. While I'm currently talking about the that render with a young whiskey just after shooting her uncle, and how my character stories are usually rather dark-ish. Not super dark. I don't like super dark stories. They're just a little bit edgy. So yeah, as I was saying, whiskey story, not very happy. It's a long one, and not one I'm going to go into great depths with right now. No, I did not update the skeleton. It's still the extremely old version 9, I think it is. Yeah, version 9. So, it's about 9 versions behind, but that's fine. Yeah, sorry, I'm getting distracted again. So basically, long story short, having a slightly darker story for whiskey enables me to give certain points in the story a little bit more depth. Like, for example, if I'm going to talk about the relationship between Sarah and whiskey in greater depth, basically because of the whole background with her uncle and everything. She was very reluctant with relationships in any way, shape, or form. And that's I mean, ultimately, this is not really apparent in any of the renders that I post, but it's all in the background, all in the story, all part of the characters, and I feel that giving characters like a background, like a detailed background, like I do, it's not essential for characters, but it helps understand a character and know how they would react or act in a scene, because different people with different experiences interact with the world differently, naturally. What I'm doing here right now, by the way, is I'm messing up this cubicle because I've decided that the camera angle will be something sort of like this. So it kind of looks like the person who was sitting in this cubicle is looking out at the commotion that's going on here right now. Because apparently there's commotion going on. So, maybe knock this PC over here. Like that. But, to return to the actual initial question about what my favorite render, well, the render I'm most proud of, is because that was a very long tangent about that render. Desk flip, that actually, actually, I'm gonna go with that. I'm going to go with that. So I'm going to knock over the rest of these dividers here. Actually, not this one, so I'm just going to move. Something like this. Yeah, anyway, most proud of render. That is really a tough question. Like, a lot tougher than I thought the what's your favorite or most proud of question would be. Because when I look at other people's renders, it's very easy to tell favorites. But if you look at your own stuff, it's a lot harder. Oops. There we go. Should be good enough. So actually, if you'll allow me the tangent from the render right now, I would take this moment to quickly look through my renders to remind myself of my recent work and my also less recent work. I mean, one render that keeps crossing my mind with the most proud of render question would probably be this one. Very early, I think this is like my fifth, well, I think it's my fifth full render I did, like the full 1080p renders. I'm just pretty happy with how it turned out in the end. It's like the second render I did when I experimented with distance fog, and it's the one that I started experimenting with motion blur and the likes. It's not perfect. Sometimes I feel like I want to go back and revisit this render and just touch it up with some of the things I've since learned. Like, for example, the wheels, their motion blur is not strong enough. I'm guessing Whiskey's probably going around 30 or 40 miles an hour. Nah, more, 50. Like 50 or 60 miles an hour. But those wheels, they look more like they're spinning at like 20. So that's something I would do. Another thing for a remaster of this render would be I would I would re-add the enforcer lights, because I've since changed my mind about some things in Whiskey's story from this render. Or to just stick with the old theme of this render, remove the CSA enforcer thing up here. Other thing I would do is probably add a crash barrier to the side, at least over here at the turn. And maybe get a different road texture, even though I'm uncertain about that one. But yeah, I think this is the one that I'm most proud of. So I have to quickly double check, but it's a pretty sure winner for me. I mean, in terms of small renders, there are a few that I'm also very happy with. It's just like there are many factors in a render. Like just for the uninitiated that haven't seen this render, that's the one I was talking about earlier. There we go. That's pretty damn high up there, mainly because it's very much deeply ingrained in Whiskey's story, and I do like myself some deep character moments. Those are like the renders I usually feel the most. And I am definitely 100% going to come back to this one, because I just can't accept myself with the low detail, low effort background I did in this one. Like, the walls are basically empty. It's ridiculous I even considered this done. and like there's nothing going on over here. The entire ceiling just looks dreadfully boring. But it's a good render in the end, and I did feel this one a lot when I was making it. It's definitely an important render, but I have to go back to this one and remaster it because as it is right now, I'm not happy with it really. To be perfectly frankly honest, I'm not really happy with it. And I would like to be a lot happier with it because it's an important render. And then other important good renders. Yeah, but that's not how it works. Like, there might be an initial thought, but you can't do that. It's to put it childishly, it's cheating. It makes the entire thing seem kind of cheap. Instead, what you would do is like have like details in the background that don't draw attention. Like just small things. Decorate the room to look normal. A room that looks normal doesn't really draw attention in a render. Like if I would have had like a house plant in the corner, which I should have done, for example, or maybe have like a painting or portrait over here, maybe some covering along the roof here. All that's kind of stuff that I would do now that I've grown up as a renderer, if you will, and yeah, just it needs details. It's just very plain, very empty in the background. The pose, the lighting, and everything, I would keep the same. I'm pretty happy with it, but it's just the background. It just irks me of just laziness. I was just very lazy with this one, and it's the reason why I don't really go back and look at this render very often. Even though I would like to. As cruel as it sounds, going back to a old and not old, a very dramatic character moment, but yeah, it is what it is, and and when it comes to other kinds of renders, like here we have the emotional, oh my god, this is so bad going on render. But there are other types of renders out there that I also very much enjoy. Like for example, the very scenic renders. Like the main focus on this render is, of course, Whiskey Growl, but there's also a lot of focus on the background. Like it's not, I wouldn't say central to the render. Like it's not what it's about, but it's almost just as important as if it was the central focal point of the render. Because it's like a photograph of, if you would take a photo of some power from here, only that there's a growl in here as well. It's difficult to explain for me because I'm not really good at explaining stuff. But yeah. And then of course, every now and then, I mean, every time I make, like, for example, the shooting, like young Whiskey shooting our uncle render, whenever I make one of those renders like those, I kind of need to counterbalance it with something sweet, something nice. And that's when I usually make renders like this one. This one I'm also a big fan of. It's very indicative, even though nowadays I'm after some rethoughts about the relationship. It's more or less the wrong way around. But excuse me. Yeah, more or less the wrong way around. But I don't think I actually ever posted this one on the forum. As a matter of fact, I know I didn't post this on the forum because I wasn't bothered with forum trolls, but I think it's in my Imgur. Yeah, I think it should be in my Imgur. I would need to check, but it's not really important. And I don't really have that many action renders. Like I need to think. I mean, the closest thing to an action render that I'm actually really happy with is this one. And this is also pretty damn old. It's the first time I figured out how to smooth out shadows. And don't know if I really have that many other action renders. Like most people that come with me to me with requests that aren't just lean on the car. That's like the most common request type. And again, I do not enjoy it, which is why I also deny most of those. But other thing I got a couple of times was action scenes. The one that Casadora made was an action scene-ish. I got a request way back from Punchu, I think his name was. I don't know if Jens's first request counts as an action scene. This one is the one I'm making now is an action scene, that's for sure. And I guess the one with Sarah, this one from last stream, second to last stream, even. Wait, that's the old one. That's the fixed one. Excuse me. This is an action scene, basically. And, yeah. Anyway, I think that's enough sidetracking to finally completely answer the question. This is probably the render I'm most proud of. And that was a very, very long and arduous journey to finally answer that question, and now we can go back to our scheduled programming. And that means we are going to flip this table. Alright, in order to flip it, I'm just going to quickly take everything off. Rotate this, first clear its rotation, and then... Wait. Oh, okay. Now, minus 90 like that. Have something like this. Like that. The legs of the table aren't exactly well detailed, but that's not really important. And maybe get this out of the way a bit. I think I'm gonna stick with the camera angle being like somewhere here-ish. And have like a against an there's Amaka and whoever this fuck was again, some band character at the end had from his mega project that I quickly converted to cycles. And who's gonna get kicked in the face, so that's good. And yeah. And Sadira is now also chatting. It's always good. How are you doing, by the way, Sadira? I see you're currently doing the arts. With the janitor or the guy cleaning, he'll probably get like paid all the time for this, so he'll probably actually be able to feed his family for once. probably also going to actually rotate or move away these filing cabinets, because they were kind of intersecting with where I wanted to put the camera. So something like this. Add the camera. And hello. There we go. That was odd. Grab, double press Z, because turns out Casero told me that actually makes moving the camera back and forth a lot easier. Like, a lot easier. Maybe have some of this cubicle visible. Like this, and actually, just for the sake of having something interesting going on, actually, no, what I'm going to do is, going to take the spare clipboard, make a copy of it, and rotate and attach it to the wall here. Like that. Camera view. Somewhere like that, up to the add a little bit to it. Maybe actually also put the shredder down there, maybe, if you can just about see it. Yeah. I'll see about the exact detailing of that area later. And once more, I've added a shitload of detail that you will never ever see in the render. Such is life. Actually, thinking about it, if this monitor was thrown off the desk, it would probably be broken. So I am going to quickly see if I can find a good image to use. So broken computer screen, texture, maybe, just maybe I'll find something that's actually somewhat useful. This one looks interesting. And it's got a watermark, but I don't think that will matter, because I didn't even notice the watermark at first, so I'm going to quickly grab that and call it a day. I'm going to make a copy of the texture. Textures. It is, yeah, you can't tell that there's a watermark. Those are the best watermarks, the ones that you can't see in the applications you have for the texture. Because those watermarks you can safely ignore. You think it'll be visible? Except visible. I mean, I could quickly, did see some here that might just work. Actually, this one doesn't have any watermark. It's got black bars though. So I'm gonna have to quickly edit that one. Because black bars are usually, pretty much always easy to remove. Just select the image. that, and crop the selection. Oh, it's a JPEG, I don't want no JPEGs. Get out of here with this stupid compressive lossy format. No, Jensman does make a point. There will be somebody who notices, and there's somebody who's gonna call me out. And I don't want to deal with that shit. Especially because that somebody who's gonna call it out is Jens himself. Damn perfectionist. Okay, down there. Fuck JPEGs. Screw it. No, JPEG lives do not matter because JPEG sucks. Again, I'm almost certain. Oh, for fuck's sake, of course you can't see. Of course you can't see any of what I just did. Well, actually, you can just about make out the broken screen. Alright, so, mouse with mouse pad. Which, okay. Okay, GTA, guys. Okay. So I'm just gonna have a mouse. Have it like, oh, upside down, not such a smart idea. Just like that, I guess. This is physically not a likely position for a mouse to land at, like, after it falls down from a table, but I don't care. Because you can probably not see it. Oh, we can. Actually, it looks ridiculous. That looks ridiculous, I can't do that. So I guess I can't be lazy, so I gotta go do this. Wait, no wait, no, this is 3ds Max, that doesn't work. Alright. Gotta do this the old-fashioned way. Because if I can't be lazy, I'm going to be as lazy as I can. Oops. As I can be. There we go. There, upside down mouse. There we go. That works. It's fine. And you, coffee, just screw off or something. I don't know. Go over there. Go over there in the corner and feel bad. Actually, over there. Maybe it'll even be visible. Of course not. Why would I even think that it would be? Alright, one thing I'm going to do, because it is what Jens specifically mentioned he wanted, is to have some floating papers, and since paper does indeed like to float, not falling, like I can get away with doing this. So I'm going to go over here and put the triangles away, for the most part, and realize that what I'm about to do might actually, okay, no, it works fine. Like that should be enough subdivisions, and now I can fold this piece of paper like you expect a piece of paper that's currently sailing through the air to fold. Like that, and oops. There it is. Shade smooth. There we go. Now copy this and another one like this. I think this one has already landed on the table here. Yeah, like subdivision is pretty simple for the most part. There are like areas and sections that can get very arsey if you don't keep in mind that you want to subdivide later. But like with flat planes like this, it almost always works. First try. Okay, like that. This one I can't keep like that because I don't want the front and back to be visible in the same frame, on the same paper. Have this one completely backwards like that, and yeah, that should be good. And oh, of course I need a chair. Like that one. Glad you're excited, Jens. And I'm happy that you're learning stuff Virtuous, because it's not what I set out to do with these streams. Basically, what I set out to do with these streams was do a favor to Jens because he was like, I want to see how you guys work, and like me and Kessler were like, why? And he was just like, yeah, I just want to see. And I was just like, well, fine, I wanted to do some streaming at some point in my life anyway. Might as well try and do some Blender streaming. Something a bit different, I think. So I just went ahead and did it, and having a blast doing so. So, as you may or may not have seen in the forum, I intend to make this a regular thing. Because, quite frankly, it's nice to have something that organizes my life a little bit. Like, currently, I'm not, I don't have a job right now. Always looking, but, the world is a cruel, cruel place, especially if you are a unskilled laborer at best. Well, it's not that bad, but, if you don't have a university degree and don't have a particularly good, GCSE, then, you are not looking at a bright future, my friend. So, if you're still in school, which you probably aren't if you can stay up this late. Anybody who's still in school, I just keep telling, do it properly. You'll regret not doing it properly. Yeah, but tangent doesn't matter. Oh, Greece, oh god. Yeah, I can imagine that's pretty bad there. Nothing against Greece or anything, actually. Actually, did at some point in my life want to go there, but economy-wise, your country's not doing good. So hope the whole job stuff works out for you there. And that life treats you properly and shit. Oops. Flip these faces just because. Oops, not top camera. Was it this one? No, it wasn't this one. It was one over there. Yep. Keep pressing the wrong keys. That's the one I want. There we go. There we go. Ah, right. That's good. Your university, at least you didn't fuck up the high school part, so better than I did, but I mean, I could technically go study, but no university will take me as their first choice. And I mean, university is like plan F for me. I'd like to avoid it because I am fed up with any kind of school environment. I should probably add a floor and wall textures to this and maybe do the windows and stuff. At this rate I might even forget. Also I'm going to put a little bit of details here. Yeah, economy is a tricky business, and especially in a country that's not doing well right now, they're just gonna try and throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. As much as it pains me to say, I don't think it's gonna get better anytime soon. And I'm not gonna talk politics, because I'm not gonna talk politics. It's going to just make people very angry. And also, it is a breach of rule number 3, but beside the point. But yeah, just hang in there, it will get better eventually. Economy can't be shit for, well, actually I'm not going to say that because I'm just going to jinx it. But just kidding, it's going to be fine, I'm sure of it. Okay, if I move this over a bit, then you'll be able to see it. Like that. Yeah, just about see it. Alright. Yeah, hope is basically, I'm not gonna say it's all you have right now, but it's important not to give up hope. I'm gonna put it like that. Because if people start giving up, then that's when the economy is going to never recover. But let's not talk politics and economy and boring stuff like that. Oh, I say boring. Divisive stuff. Because, whoops, we're just going to make people angry. Well, people angry, that's like 4 people watching, but that's fine. Besides, I don't want to be the streamer that breaks his own rules. Alright, looking good. Yeah, of course, walls. Going to actually first grab the carpet texture again because I'm lazy. I don't have a different carpet. Do I have a different carpet texture? No, I don't. FBI material carpet. Only reason I keep considering getting a different carpet materials because the carpet material from the FBI building is shit. But I don't really have any options at the moment. Well, if your parents taught you to respect our opinions, then you had good parents. Most people I know, they will see it as a personal attack against their very being if you disagree with them. They will defend their political views as if they were defending their goddamn lives. But No, I'm not. I'm not going to start. Don't make me start with this. If you make me start with this, I'm gonna not be able to stop. And the end, I'll come out of this stream fuming. I'm going to give it a clinical. This is an office building, kind of teal. Oh my, that's oh, that explains it. Now I need to brighten this again. Yeah, I think that's a good office carpet text color. I say that as somebody who's never been in an office, but I think that's what office carpets would look like. That's what the media always shows me. Okay, I'm going to get the concrete wall. UV unwrap. Scale this a bit. Make this a bit darker. Then select this. Duplicate it so I can change it individually. Select by this material. Smart UV project is good enough for concrete wall. Well, it's not gonna stay a concrete wall. It's going to be changed. Multiply node. A little bit of noise. Now brightened. Actually, for the ceiling, better idea is the what are those ceiling tiles again? Ceiling panel. There we are. I pressed cancel, didn't I? I did press cancel. I'm a fucking tool. There we go. This time I didn't. Panel. Yeah, laminate would be actually a good choice now I think about it. But I don't think I have a laminate floor like that. I would need to double check that though. Don't know where I would keep it though either. And scale that something like this. And figure this corner out. There we go. I think I'm going to stick with this carpet simply because I don't have a laminate floor. Oh yeah, and I also need to, before I forget, unplug the normal map from this because it looks slightly off. And remove the dirtiness. Alright. And what I'm going to do with this one, similarly to the police commissioner's kind of office thing I did last time. Not last time, but last time I built an office-like structure. Is I'm going to put some ceiling covering. I think you call it covering. Like this. Actually, offices have pretty deep covering like that. I hate working with very long faces because parts are usually difficult to select. Actually, right now I'm not going to extrude this. I'm going to do it differently. I'm also going to right, top view will not help me here. Scale X. Actually, for the sake of my sanity, I'm going to quickly add faces to the top here. So that way I can work like that. Nope, that's not. I keep pressing A instead of Tab. And it's really not helping me. Extrude Y, extrude, then scale along X, and I realized that way off. Again, scale on X. And top view again. Extrude Y. And select all of these. View from the top. Extrude. Scale out. Scale in some. That's good enough. And remove the extra materials from this and give it a new material. It's just going to be some plain plastic stuff, so I'm just going to call it plastic and leave it at that. Not going to bother texturing it. So, actually, I might make it just a little bit darker, like that. And yeah, I am enjoying where this is going. Still not 100% certain if I'm going to keep the camera angle like this, but I think I'm about ready to start the poses. Now, disclaimer, this is a very old rig, and posing with that one is not how you do it. It's no longer how it works. Things are very different these days. I mean, you can just simply look at the two rigs and you can tell there's a world of difference with them. Like, everything is very different on this. So, yeah. And I'm wondering, how exactly what did you mean, Jens, with kicking in the face? Like, is Emeka kicking up? Is the criminal lying on the floor? Is or something like that? Like, yeah, do you have something in mind, or just going to give me free reign on this? Alright. Free reign, okay. And that means I have to think about this for a minute. Basically, because technically, and we're speaking very technically here, I technically don't have permission to use this model. But at the same time, this is somebody who got banned ages ago, according to Jens at least. And if he says it's okay to use, then I'm just going to use it. But I still kind of want to make sure that she's not too visible, like not the focus of the scene. So I kind of, you know, in the side. Basically, she's supposed to have a foot in her face, basically. And I'll figure out the rest then. I guess I could maybe, I don't know, maybe I could do this, Miss Band Lady. Maybe she's like lying on the floor here after she was, I don't know, knocked into the table or something. And then, I don't know, she's like on her all fours and trying to get back up. And then America just comes there and just kicks her in the face. I think that'll work. So I'm gonna do that. Some kind of savage blow. Like, yeah, I think I've got this figured out now. Right, gonna quickly position. That's no biggie. I'm sure Jens will have found somebody else. So don't need to worry about it. And there's another invisible emoji from Zadiro. Can't see it, unfortunately, for some reason. So alright. First time I'm working with this skeleton, actually. And one thing I'm noticing right now, Jens, is this right that this has no elbow controllers? Because I'm not seeing any elbow controllers. Okay, what am I looking at here? Going to flatten her feet, something like this. Oh god, this character's making me furious. Something like that. Actually, if I'm going to make her try and get back up, then foot forward like that. Okay. Alright. I think I should be able to work with that then. So, like that. The awkwardness of its pose just starting out. Oh, what's this? Controller doesn't move with the torso? Jesus Christ, Jens. That's fine. It's fine. It's not like I didn't test this rig beforehand. So I kind of know what I'm looking at, kind of know what I'm expecting. Only thing I only just noticed is that there are no elbow controllers. But something like a little bit lower down. Oh yeah, she's about to fly, that's for sure. Like that, boom. I think this leg is a little bit too far out. Damn poses. Oops. Paper, you stay where you are. No, she just got a foot in the face, so have that hand sort of floating. This one on the knee. I said on the knee, not next to it. Like so. And alright. Makes sense. And I'll finish off the pose in a minute because I want to get a rough sketch, if you will, of the scene. So I'm going to pose Amaka first before I finish off the rest of the pose. So first, the most important thing, foot in the face, sort of. Now kicking poses are kind of difficult. Tried doing a kicking pose before. I'm going to put it like this, it wasn't my best pose. Yeah, this is already a much better look for this character, if you ask me. Like, foot in the face really improves this character's design, I have to say. I mean, it's not very difficult with the Animu hair color and the no real pants and no shoes and emo black everything. So, yeah, I think foot in the face really does improve the design. Alright. Difficulty with kicking in animation and renders and everything is kicking is a very unbalanced thing. Like, your body is very unbalanced when kicking. Very, very unbalanced. And unbalanced stuff is hard to work with. At least, in my opinion. Maybe Jens will be like, no, it's the easiest thing to work with ever. But if an animation is unbalanced, then I usually have a pose is unbalanced, then it's usually difficult for me to work with. And I try to work without reference, mainly because I find reference to be confining. But it's situations like these where I consider it. So move the arms a little bit to counterbalance. I'm going to make the hands be fists in a minute. Actually, the pose looks more like she kicking her face like this, but not what I'm going for. So what I'm going to do is not have a cry just yet. What I'm going to do instead of crying is move her way back and a bit like this. Make sure that's like actual visceral reaction. Speaking of visceral reaction. And make sure she's also viscerally reacting to the foot. Actually, you think that the other one looks better? Oh, well, whatever happens, if you get kicked in the face, something's gonna break. Like that, Ooh, maybe... Oh, throat kick, oh god. Is Amaka going for a kill on this? Because if she's going for the kill, Well, if she's not going for a kill, I need to change this. Because she's going for a kill here. Not bent that much. Christ. This is really off balance. That and a bit like this. Okay, so she's not going to go for a kill. That's. Then I guess she's just going to. Then I think I might just go back to the broken nose. Because, that's, like, attempted murder waiting to happen, if you will. Okay, like that, sort of. Rotate her a little bit and adjust the position. And get kicked in the fucking face. Like that. Actually, maybe something more like this would be. How's her balance? Actually, I think I should move up a little bit like this. Just the knees a little bit. That. And, yeah. If this doesn't look painful to you, then something's wrong with you. Because this looks fucking painful. I do not want to be on the receiving end of that. Alright, just shoulders. That. And maybe this one back a little. Yeah, this actually is a very good way of demonstrating the power of face posing. This looks yeah, not very much like she's just been kicked in the fucking face. This looks more like, oh, okay, damn. And also, Amaka doesn't really look like she just kicked somebody in the face. Depending on how exactly she's feeling, she's either going to be gleeful about kicking somebody in the face, or she's going to be all like, fuck you, I just kicked you in the face. Also depends on her character, naturally. Yeah, something like that. Knee posing is always slightly irritating. Especially when you move hips around like this. Knee posing gets kind of irritating. It doesn't necessarily get worse or better or anything like that. It's just, I find it slightly more irritating to work with. It's probably because the knee controls also get tilted. But it doesn't actually make a difference. Actually, I'm going to, I just realized I didn't actually rotate the hips at all. Oops. So, bear with me while I figure this out. What has I've done to lead me up to my face being on the underside of this woman's boot? I mean, being kicked in the face by anybody, especially if you're a criminal and it's an enforcer who's kicking you, you're going to be questioning your life choices. I mean, at this point it's already too late to make any changes, but at least having questioned them is a step forward. Something like that will do. Yeah, now the pose looks much better. It's far less, previously just looked kind of boring. Now it looks a bit more interesting. Oh yeah, one thing I wanted to do with Amaka is, this is basically, like, my idea is, like, this is basically the moment her foot made contact. Well, maybe a moment later, but something like that, so she still has a long way to stretch that foot. And poor little Krim here is probably going to bash her head against the table. And Orca's probably going to look at her work. Like that. Let's adjust this a little bit. Like so. Kick face. And this hand looks a little bit too far out there. Oop, not top. Camera angle. Going to move them a little bit towards the camera. Not really taking up enough screen space. So I'm actually going to move them way further towards the camera. And then also going to move the table further towards the camera and move this further towards the camera. Which actually makes sense because previously it was kind of not where it should have been on this in this situation. Oh, gotta move the mouse as well. Want to do an animation based on this? I mean, would probably be funny. Oops, I selected something I didn't want to. There we go. And a bit of that. Move it over there some. Actually also adjust it over there. And get an extra filing cabinet over here. Gotta make those scenes interesting. Still questioning life choices. And can't really see the front of Amaka, but such is life sometimes with these renders. Sometimes things just don't quite work out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move these also closer towards the camera. Because I liked that there was one floating in front of her a bit. Yep, that's looking mighty fine to me. Ah, right, of course, I gotta... Just seeing this, I gotta do windowsills here still. Oops, not that mode, this one. Get this selected and get a window build. Come on, there we go. And pretty good enough. Yeah, I was gonna try rotating a bit, but I don't think it will fix it very much. Because I can't rotate them too much, because otherwise the, I mean, it depends on how long ago that desk was knocked over. Like my current thought, Crim lady here got knocked back in a fight, which knocked over the table and threw everything off and everything. And then when in the process of getting back up, Alka just goes in for, not the kill, but the finishing blow. And yeah. I mean, ultimately, you're the boss, this is your render. Ish. It's your request, there we go. Move it up, and that's like this. Make you metal. Make you the car window material, which I don't have in the scene yet. It is your request though, so well, I mean, you're probably mostly like, you gave me stuff to work with so you can watch me render today. I still wish that people would stop trying to do me favors by not requesting renders. Because that's not doing me favors. I keep getting people who are like, oh no, I would request, but you seem to be way too busy. Like, look at all the views you have on your request thread. Every time somebody says that, I'm like, no, that's not how it works. But never managed to get a request out of somebody who made a remark like that. Which is a shame, because I like doing requests. Well, as long as they're interesting. I don't like doing characters leaning on their cars. You know, to be fair, I once did a render like that for myself. But not of Whiskey, not of my actual playing character, but of Sarah. But that's different. First of all, because I made it for myself, and second of all, because it's not the only thing I do. Oop. There we go. That's square enough. Extrude. That actually is way too thick. I've actually never seen anything that you would consider Jens's car. Never seen anything like it was never implied in any of your renders that I've seen, at least not that I can remember. So you definitely didn't do a char car render. So maybe it's time to catch up. Or you can celebrate yourself as the one render who has never caved. One true renderer who has never made the notorious, horrible character leaning against car render. I mean, ultimately, I can understand why people do them. Or want them. Because unlike, they don't have the perspective that we renderers do. They will see their character leaning against their car for the first time. But for me, Jens, Casadora, and all the other renderers that exist, it's unique to the new people, like the people who don't render, because it's with their character for the first time. But as a renderer, you see it and you're like, oh god, not another one, because it's just so mundane, so overdone because everybody wants one. Which again is not an issue in and of itself. It's just not what I want. I don't. When I get a request, I prefer it to be something interesting, like maybe a character moment from the character. At least anything that's really interesting. But yeah, I usually have to press them or make them reconsider by telling them that their request is cancelled or denied. Because I have denied requests before for them being too character leaning against car. It's just like, I don't want to deal with those anymore. So I think this is the best I can do when it comes to rotation with and having can actually be somewhat more visible. Also, as a neat side effect, it also means that Animu hair here is even less in focus. And you can just about make out the sole of the foot, and oh my god, this looks ouch. This looks very ouch. Very, very ouch. Do you want to be extra cruel and actually like visually bend the nose slightly sideways? Make it look extra painful. Like that. I'm going to see what it looks like. This. Okay, I'm gonna have to remove the locks. Very advanced techniques here. Oh my. This is already. Oh my. Oh, the humanity. Oh, the humanity. Make her close her eyes in pain. Because I'm a cruel, cruel person like that. I'm kidding, I'm cruel. Not usually. Actually, for the purpose of modifying her face, I'm going to... What the hell, Jens? What is this? What is this? Is it because, like, very old skeleton and just no helper bones? Or is it just because you were so lazy? Yeah, okay, I guess you... I I guess you just were like, nah, it's fine. Honestly, I'm still surprised how you did it. Like, that you actually pulled it off in the end. I'm going to bend the jaw a little bit because this is painful. That. So, you know what? I'll tolerate slight laziness. Oh my. Oh, fucking hell, that looks... Let's get Miss Kicking Foot back. Oh my. This looks Camp saved it. Like, did he remotivate you or something? I have to move this freely. Because... I'm going to cheat and make the nose clip with the soul a little bit more like that. And oh my... Yep, that looks sufficiently painful. I think we have reached a sufficient pain threshold, and oh my god, that nose is so fucking bent. That nose is so fucking bent. She'll never look the same again. Which is probably a good thing, but... I mean, what? Ah, right. Yeah, of course, I remember that actually. You mentioned that at some point when Kemp was being generous again, or trying to be generous. Oh yeah, okay, that sounds... Yeah, I probably would have stopped that as well if I would have stuck with that, because that does not sound good. Especially because I use cycles, and an hour worth render is for me is normal for me. While for you on internal, an hour is like incredibly long. Alright, time to do Amaka's face. This should be a little bit more fun, because nice modern face rig. And I see you use my technique of eyelash thing rigging. Exactly, that's the word. Actually, I was really surprised to see eyelashes on Awaka when I opened the blend file for the first time. I was like, what's this? Jens using eyelashes? Unheard of. Not that I see a problem with that, quite the opposite. Oh, okay, use transfer weights, and okay, that's something else. But, either way, it's good to see you, using eyelashes. Now, what I just do is, I join the eyelashes to the body mesh. And, that works for me. Like, I haven't had a single character rig where that did not work. So I just keep doing that. Got something in my eye, sorry about that. Okay. Alright, that's better. How long have we been? 2 hours? I think it's pretty far for 2 hours actually. Then again, I haven't messed around with lighting yet, and that's probably going to take another hour. Like yesterday. The whole lighting setup took like forever. Am I happy with her face posing, at least for what it is? And what's this? Why are her teeth inverted? God damn it. Alright. Probably doesn't matter, but probably isn't good enough. So, there we go. That's better. I knew something looked odd, but that's fine now. Do you maybe like import that from a different mesh and forgot to apply the scale? Because that's when I get stray inverted faces on my renders sometimes. Excuse me. Streaming and babbling on for 2 hours, so it tends to get my my mouth a bit dry. So I just need to take a drink every now and then. Oh yeah, right, I need to close our hands because if you're angry, you have fists. Fists of fury. Go, we have one fist of fury. And now the other fist of fury. Should be using the gimbal for this, but yeah. There we go. Let's see wait, it's clipping. There. There we go. I'm going to adjust her fingers as well. Familiar tools, these finger controllers, just very different looking from what I remember. Know from the more modern Jens skeleton. Which, as I've said many times before, is probably one of the, if not the best skeleton I've ever worked with. It works really well most of the time. It works for almost all applications. You can animate with it, as you and Cazadora demonstrate. And yeah. But the old skeleton, I mean, if this would be the skeleton we had to work with now, I'd be okay with doing it, but I'd be less happy with it. The new skeleton, the one that we see on our friendly neighborhood Amacar here, pretty damn good. Pretty damn good indeed. Alright, I think that's about it for posing. So it's time to make final decisions for scene composition. I'm gonna quickly make the floor here unselectable because it's annoying me. So if I move them around a bit more, rotate them slightly less. And then, oh, I just realized a piece of paper that landed on the desk didn't move with it. Something like that. Well, I'm gonna put it like this, I'm fucking glad you did, because if you wouldn't have, we would not be doing any of this. Because the fact that your skeleton is so easy to work with and so easy to set up is the primary reason why I didn't just say fuck it all to begin with. Because with other thing is the skeletons I've worked with on other engines, it's just like it's infuriating. The source engine skeletons are horrible. But your skeleton, it's nice to work with and it's flexible. I've seen Cazador also in some of her, you know, the renders I mean, where she had a character from outside of APB rig to the APB rig. And I mean, working on with this old rig, it's a bit more cluttered and a bit less sleek looking, but for the most part it works. New rig obviously looks much nicer, works much nicer, all of that jazz. But it's definitely workable. It's nothing like what I'm gonna say like I can't do this. So yeah, you did a good job of them. Render idea, shoot, please do. If you want me to render something, more than happy to. Or if you're talking about for yourself, then that's fine too. Share, just go ahead, post whatever your heart desires. Use chat. Chat is there for chatting. And if a render idea, request, whatever is what you want to chat about, go ahead. I don't restrict this. This chat is open. Just as long as you don't intentionally annoy people and, you know, be a twat. But if you just, you know, be respectful, mindful, and everything, then just talk about whatever you want to talk about. And it also goes for the silent people in chat. The ones that just watch in silence. I know there's at least one of you who's been here twice or 3 times. Actually, no, I think I've saw you every single time, but you've never said a word. But, I mean, if you don't want to speak, then that's fine too. How close is to clipping? It's not really clipping, basically. Actually, one thing I could do is move the camera a bit. Why aren't you moving? Interesting. That's very interesting. It's actually very interesting. And just from what you've said there, you've already showed me a couple of very good qualities. First of all, you have a story in mind. Second, your characters have names. Well, your character at least there has a name. And that sounds like a story moment to me. So, sounds very interesting. I hope I get to see that rendered at some point, unless you want me to render it, but I prefer if you render it, actually, now I think about it. Alright, lighting. from what I'm reading, you have a... You certainly have a how do I say it? You certainly have an idea. It's like many people just, just kind of wildfire it to just go like, I'm going to make my character look cool. But you seem to be going about it properly, like going at yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna say that it's mandatory to think about your characters and treat them like actual characters with stories and everything, but I do think it's beneficial. 8,000. Now, let's get some lighting in here. Something like that. So are they both criminals, or is it just her? Like, I'm intrigued now. Well, in that case, I'd say hold off on it until you are. Like, unless you insist, obviously. I mean, if you're going to want me to render something, I'm not going to say no in the end. But, like, take my renders as an example. My first render was a complete shit show because I had no idea what I was doing. I knew slightly what I was doing. I knew how to treat materials. I knew how to work with skeletons in general, and I had, of course, tutorials to follow. But at the end of the day, I was not really experienced with rendering. So the scene composition was all over the place. The characters were okay posed, but not nowhere near up to my standards now. And I'm not happy with that render, and I'm never going to be happy with that render for multiple reasons. And I'm also not going to revisit the render because it's not worth it. I've got way better renders to go back to and remaster at some point. And yeah. Alright. Time to try this render out. I'm going to first optimize the rendering. Indirect, full direct. I mean, it is very interesting, and I mean, since you do seem to insist, I guess I'll see about it. Alright, let's put this up to 9. I'm liking sunset way too much as a lighting setting. And actually, for this one, I had an idea. Because I have a neat little script that if I have a lamp called sun lamp, and I run it, it will adjust the sun position, if you will, to match with the object position of the sun. No, not the object position, the rotation of the sun. And usually comes with a pretty neat effect. Often enough, though, the camera, because of the way that I do lighting, the sun is almost never visible in a render. Sometimes it's barely visible out to the left or to the right, but it's never really in shot. So maybe I'm gonna put it in shot for this one. I'm gonna quickly go grab that script. It's scenes, I think. It is sun sky. Now all I gotta do is press run script. And now the sky will be adjusted, and you can see here, can just about make it out, that there's now an actual bloom point on this. Now I'm going to quickly take the sun and give it a strength of 9. And let's hit F12. And let it render. Chances are super noisy. Alright, yep, as I expected, very noisy. Lighting is also kind of sterile, but then again it's an office. What the fuck do I expect? It's not gonna lend itself to interesting lighting. But I mean, in the end, if you want me to render that idea, doubling back to that plot, I guess I can. Just as soon as you can, just send me your character. Maybe at least try and set the character up. We'll compromise. You set the character up, I'll render, okay? Because I'm not gonna do all the work for you, especially because I feel like you can do it. I mean, yeah, of course I'll help you set it up, but you set it up. That's the deal, all right? Yeah, I'm talking about the request. Because just yeah, I am talking about the request. Like, I'll make the request, but you set up the character. Deal? Good. Good, good, good. I think the sky might be a little very bright. Might need to lower the brightness on that a bit. Then again, if you're in an indoor area, the outside does look kind of bright. Well, I wouldn't say it's because true teacher or anything. It's just, it's kind of my teaching, if you will, philosophy, to not give people the results, but but give them the tools to get the result themselves. You know, the old teach a man to fish, you know, give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day, teach a man to fish and he'll eat for life. Kind of by that mentality. That's how I usually go about doing stuff like this. Much to the frustration of my brother, who would just much rather have me just do everything for him. Even though he's getting better at it. Not saying that my brother does renders, he doesn't. He does dabble into 3D modeling a bit though. It's also why I was very reluctant, like extremely reluctant, and ultimately also didn't do it when I requester, who I will not name, after I did the request, asked me to give them the setup car, the setup character, and the scene. And I was just like, why? And they told me because they tried doing it themselves and just failed at it and wanted to have the rigged character. But I told him that's not how I roll and that he's not going to get them, and then he just got a little bit pissy. And as far as I'm aware, he also pestered Casadora a lot about it, and also, I think he also asked for like a nude rib and everything. It's just like, he was just being ultimate lazy, basically. Yeah. I can't deal with types like that, so I'm glad that you're not one of those. I think these two papers look too similar. Mix it up a little bit. I am very happy to hear that you say. I'm really happy to see you say that you want to learn. Like, rendering is something that has to be learned. There's a lot of theory. There's a lot of knowing stuff. There's a lot of understanding and a lot of work involved. Like, I feel that many people who send in requests think that this is easy. And there's also a couple of people who don't send in requests who also think this is easy and constantly go on about it and annoy several of us. But again, not going to name anybody for the sake of their privacy. And yeah, it's not productive. But going up about it with the mindset that, first of all, you need to learn, and second of all, that you are willing to learn, that's the right step. That's going in the right direction. Alright. Now, I am going to say this, and this lighting looks very sterile, not very interesting. So, in order to fix that, I need to go about doing this a little bit differently. Gotta think of some alternate light sources around here. Computer monitors make very interesting light sources, but the only monitor is lying over there in pieces. I think what I could try and do is make the front lighting here a little bit brighter, and the back one's a little bit darker. True, I could add some lamps. Maybe like a font. Ooh, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put a desk lamp over here, that's kind of lighting them from underneath. And I'm going to reduce the value of all the lights around. So I'm going to quickly do that. Alright, that's over here. I'm going to put it down to a 5,000. If I was smart, I would have made these, wouldn't have copied them, I would have made instances, but I'm not smart, as it has been well established many a time. Now I gotta actually think about, do I even have a desk lamp? I don't know if I do. I don't think I do, actually. That's a kind of a bummer. Also going to increase the lighting of this. Make the sky a little bit darker. And maybe also change the angle slightly. There we go. Now I gotta run the script again. Alright, desk lamp. If I had one, where would I have it? Is there one in the APB prop pack? There might be one in the prop pack. Might have to take a look on that. As much as I like the prop pack, it's difficult to navigate sometimes. I often miss things in them. Lamp top. Typos. Teehee. I mean, ultimately, if the texture, like, if there's a texture issue, then that's not really a problem, because this being cycles, I can get away with not having a texture. I'll just give it like a slightly shiny material, and give like metal to metal parts and stuff like that. I'll make it work. So would be cool if you could send it my way, because now I'm thinking about something that actually kind of annoyed me about it. GTA is that it didn't have any desk lamps anywhere. Since this scene already is making very liberal use of loads of GTA props. There we go, now that's not floating anymore. Oh my god, I'm taking another drink. Hold on. Alright. Excuse me. Before I get like all excited with the desk lamp, I'm actually going to try the lighting first. This will be something like this. Like that. Should cause for some very interesting lighting. Desk lamps usually have very wide angle. but I'll do a little bit more fade. Something like that. Get a bit up there and going to make it slightly yellowish to differentiate from the rest of the lighting. Should make it a bit more interesting as well. I think 8,000 this close might be a little bit much, so I'll go with 6,000. Still wondering if there's any kind of unit for the lighting value in Blender, or if it's just mystery units, fake units, no units. 6,000 lights. Alright, let's see if that made any difference. Chances are it did not. No, it did. But I think it needs more. As per usual. I'm gonna let this one render out though. You get a feel for the big picture, so to say. Stupid accidental puns. Excuse me. It's definitely more interesting, but I forgot to increase the size of the lamp. Right, pro tip here. The lamp size value here. If you increase this, you soften up the lighting. Putting it up to something like 10 makes it super soft, and you basically get very strange looking shadows, or no shadows at all. But if you put it too low, like 0.1 where it starts out, you get very, very sharp shadows like here. I usually go with a value like around 1. It's usually good enough to not be too sharp. And also not too soft, so you actually still get like defined shadows. It's a tough balance to hit. But yes, the lighting does have a little bit more now. Has a bit more bang to it now. Especially with the light and the shadow play that you get in the background here. I still think I need to brighten up the lamp a little bit more though. I'm thinking like maybe like 12 or 15K will look alright. I forgot to move these papers around. Yeah, I definitely need to soften up the shadows. But, yeah, so increase lighting, strength, soften shadows, and still need to play around with sun angle a little bit. Because it's still not looking as good as I'd like it to. This just looks so fucking painful. But yeah, I think about get the gist of this. So hue size 1, strength 15, sun, get angled. There we go. Run the script again. And let's give it a render once more. And hope that this looks a bit more how I want it to. Maybe I need to increase the sun angle a little bit more. No, not the sun angle, the softness of the lamp. And we've once more reached this point of the streaming process where probably in the next 5 minutes about 30 people will show up, all looking at the most boring part of the stream. Because that's how it usually goes. Definitely happy of the lighting, but still not happy with it. I mean, ultimately, anybody who doesn't stay for the ride is also not like. I want to entertain people with this sort of. I don't know how, but apparently people find it entertaining. So I just roll with it. But yeah, it is what it is. Well, I'm glad at least that somebody thinks it's entertaining. And somebody finds it helpful is also pretty good. And look, there they are. 3 extra people just jumped in. 9 people watching me right now. That's okay. I mean, hi. This is the least interesting part of the stream. The very interesting setting up of everything is already over. But yeah. I goddamn called it. Whenever I'm almost done with the stream, suddenly the people flock in. They'll be like, this looks interesting, click on the link, click on the icon, click on whatever, and then see, oh, he's just watching some tiles move along the screen. I'm like, but there was so much more just half an hour earlier. And then they're already gone. That's kind of the issue with streaming this rendering stuff, is if people join at the wrong moment, there's no reason in this goddamn horrible world for them to stay. But I appreciate the people that stay anyway. So I think a couple people have stayed from the initial 9, so that's good. Hi guys, what are you doing? Well, how are you doing? Asking the right questions. This is the, as I already mentioned, the least interesting part of the stream. I'm trying to figure out how exactly I need to do the lighting. Even though I am pretty solid on it right now. It's kind of what I want. I definitely achieved the goal of spicing up the lighting a little bit. And I'm also happy with the reflections of the area lights, because that's pretty neat. And I think I'm happy with the sun like this. I obviously still gotta add some buildings behind the window here. Kind of like just add a little mobile background detail. Maybe put something on the table here as well. And just figure out exactly what I want to do. Alright. I've run out of things to talk about. Somebody give me something to talk about, please. Like, ask questions, give me a prompt, something to rant about, or just something. Quick, before you all get bored. No. Jens, I swear. No, I don't like Doritos, they're too memey for me. Like, Doritos are literally meme food. And the only people who like them are people either who are blissfully unaware of their internet status, or dank meme stuff, MLG pro gamers. And no. No, I'm from, well, I was about to say I'm from the UK, but that's not entirely truthful. I hail from the Democratic Republic of Germany, but I moved to the UK a couple of months ago after having lived in the UK previously in my life for 3 years. So that's how I managed to speak English properly. And yeah. It, yeah, there's nothing much to say else. Nothing else much to say. I mean, yeah, I can speak. I swear. So, anything else we can talk about? Well, I completely ignore the fact that this render is done, and I am pretty much happy with this now, and I can go grab some buildings. What is it? Quantity buildings. Let's get the recognizable. Let's get the recognizable WP towers in there. Let's get something interesting looking, and a couple of normal buildings. Apply rotation at scale. Move them roughly over here. Because this is an office, this is probably on a relatively high story. Oh, hey, Cazador. You want to ruin my life? You're gonna have to work really damn hard at that. I don't even think you can ruin my life. I saw you, you've been busy helping your friend have a nice day. So, glad you managed to drop in at least for a bit. So how was your day in the end? Was it at least somewhat entertaining and worthwhile? You mentioned some hiccups during the day, but then again, what kind of day doesn't have hiccups? Thanks, friendship. Man, if I wouldn't have any friends, I wouldn't have to help friends, right? No, that's not how it works. Friends are good. Don't like Avatar? That's okay. I personally think it's overrated. Like, it's a well-made movie, but its story is just way blown out of proportion. Like, oh yeah, that's a good question. You mean like, if you mean a movie, then I'm okay with that statement. If you mean the animated series, I would have to destroy you, I think. Good. Because if you would have been if you have been shit talking The Last Airbender, I would probably have had to destroy you. Yeah, the CGI also didn't. I mean, it holds up better than 2000 CGI, like early 2000 CGI, but it's definitely not on the list of good CGI. Like, I think it does sort of still hold up. And yeah, the story just kind of like, it's like, you're human, like the guy is a human, but he feels so much more at home with the Na'vi. It makes so little sense. Like, how can he, like, there's so many loopholes in the story as well that I was just left thinking, like, what now? The biggest issue is, like, it doesn't explain how he's planning to deal with everything, and like the whole body merging thing working all of a sudden, space magic and all that shit. It's just it's not well thought out. Alright, let's move this around. But I mean, the issue I had with the humans in Avatar is that they were just comically inept. Like, they were so fucking ridiculously inept at everything there. And ultimately, I didn't root for anybody, because I was just watching the movie like, okay, this is a movie that everybody's saying is good, so I'll watch it and give it a chance. And I was like, this is not really interesting. Like, why should I care? And it didn't really help that they made the humans so comically unlikable that I actually started liking them again. It's like, there's so much corporate greed, we gotta be so evil, and like, there's so much of this unobtainium stuff everywhere, but there's so much here, and so we must take this. And just felt so ridiculous most of the time. And like the whole neural link directly to the body shit excuse to get a grunt to do a scientist's work. It's like, no, just no. It just made so little sense. It infuriated me. And I'll say, it looked pretty. It had like interesting ideas as well. Like, I'm not saying like that no matter how you look at it, it had to have been a bad movie. But the director just, Cameron he just like just sort of ham-fisted the entire thing. Like, it's very mishandled. It's nowhere near what it could have been. And I'm not saying that Cameron is incompetent. He's not. But it's definitely not his finest work. And yeah. The fact that it was overrated is an issue in and of itself. Like, people called it the best movie ever made. Like, I literally knew people who were like, this movie is perfect. There will never be a movie better. And then, of course, in our society, everybody wants, as Jens just mentioned, sequels. I'm like, no. No. Please, no. First of all, we don't need more of this. Second of all, how? The only way you can get a sequel into this story is by ham-fisting it. Like, what are they gonna do? Make more humans appear? Or are they like, is there going to be a natural catastrophe and there will be no humans? Like, what's their game plan? And us talking about movies has now just scared off another person. So it's now just us. My favorite movie in 2016? Does Star Wars Episode 7 count because I watched that in 2016? And I think that's probably the only movie I watched last year because I really, like, last year I didn't have any time at all to watch movies. I was way too busy with the move and everything. But couldn't find any movie, like, I couldn't find the time to watch movies. And when I'm on my own now, I'm just like, do I want to watch a movie or do I want to continue rendering, playing video games, or anything like that? About the social aspect of watching a movie, I'm not really motivated to do it. So, I basically have a very, very long list of movies that I need to watch, and probably will never get to watch. Because I don't like watching movies on my own. I mean, I've watched some movies on my own, but if I have to do things on my own, I would probably just play video games, because I like the interactive medium more. But that's just my 2 cents. Yeah, no, I just prefer my interactive mediums. I don't really watch series either. Like, I don't watch a lot of stuff, basically. The last series that I can remember watching in full, what was it? It's been too long. I think it was The Legend of Korra. That's the last series I watched in full. I mean, I'll concede against that sometimes some movies just work better on your own. I agree with that. But, like, with lots of movies, I just feel like, no, it's alone, that's kind of, meh. I do kind of want to watch a series, but I also want to watch one that's ongoing, because I know that if I watch a finished series, I'm just going to fucking binge it. Like, spend the next 2 days doing nothing but watching that. That's how it went with Korra when I started watching that until the point where where I'm to that point. Confused? What you confused about, Casadora? Because I don't want you to be confused. Confused Kaz is no fun. Well, sometimes confused Kaz is fun. Her legs, well, one of them is clipping through the thing, and I guess I should move the, I guess I didn't adjust the legs to the hip movement. I did. Basically, she's trying to get up after being knocked down before getting kicked in the fucking face. But you binged the entire Star Trek TV series, like all of them. You, sir, are a madman. You binged it all? Series rewatchers, I know that feeling. Yeah, but this render is getting there. Gonna have to fix the clipping and adjust the leg positioning a bit. Actually surprised that I didn't notice that when I was adjusting the hand. Yes. That's the issue with low budget. Sometimes the script just doesn't cut it. Sadira, you can't spoil people like that. No, Sadira, it's fine. I'm sure they don't hate you. Ah, you guys, stop. Have a hug, Kaz. Have a hug, Sadira. Hug each other and everything will be fine. Alright, Kaz is laughing, so everything's fine. Cry laughing? Cry laughing. Indeed, cry laughing. I think I'm pretty much happy with this. Like, apart from the clipping leg there, and the odd unfixed leg positioning, I think it's pretty much done. Let's deal with this hand here. Get it somewhere roughly back where it makes sense. Make it look like she's leaning on a bit. Alright. That should look much better now. Yeah, that looks way better. thanks for pointing that one out, guys. I probably wouldn't have realized until it's fucking finished. I would have had to re-render that section, and that would have been annoying. Not critical, but annoying. But actually, was gonna make this light just a bit stronger. Not much, just a bit. Give it another render, so that we can talk more about shit and stuff. So yeah. Well, I mean, a kick in the face would probably ruin anybody's day in this case. Like, that's going to ruin not just your day, but it's probably going to ruin your whole week. So yeah, Awaka is not a nice lady, it seems. At least not when angry. And yeah, as I said, this is the whole last hour has been spent with nothing but tweaking the lighting. Yeah, that's true. That fight animation. But maybe JK. Maybe JK. Those are the best JKs. Unsure if JK. Basically. You mean the animation that you've been working on, like the movie scene one, or TV series scene or something? That you adapted to be with Kaz and what's his face, Ashvan or whatever. Keep forgetting his name. I'm not good with names. I don't know what it was. I don't know what the inspiration was because I'm not. A gentle drop? Like, is Anaka going to guide her to the floor gently? And then kick her in the face gently? Like, very gently, lovingly. Just a little fucking kick in the face. We all love those, don't we? I mean, we'll ask her if she likes being kicked in the face. I don't think she likes being kicked in the face, to be perfectly honest. Then again, we don't know. Maybe that's secretly her fetish. And I'm gonna shut up now. Actually, I'm gonna take another drink. Because I've been talking too much. Waffling on for 3.5 hours is not really conducive to having a nice and, not dry throat. That's how it always is. You look away for 5 minutes and then suddenly the render is finished. She's inspecting the shoe up close. It's like, this is very interesting, these contraptions you wear on your feet. How do I get one of these? And then Amaka's always just like, bitch, shut up, and kicks her in the face. That is now my headcanon for what's happening here. And then she's gonna be like, wow, kicking people in the face with shoes makes so much more sense because it doesn't hurt as much with your own feet. And then maybe she learned that wearing shoes is actually reasonable. But then she got banned and couldn't wear shoes anymore. You know what? Actually, now that you mention it, there is an empty table over here. So, maybe this empty table can be made not empty with a pizza. I think that can be done. That will be done. There shall be pizza. It has been decided. I mean, the pizza will stay there. It's going to be there because you know what? Kaz is not in this scene. If she were in this scene, it'd be gone in a minute. So there will be a pizza now. She's on her way, her pizza radar pinged and was like, caution, there's a pizza nearby, it has not been eaten yet. And then she's just going to like push Amaka out the way and kick this lady in the face again. Because she's, maybe she goes to try and eat some pizza. Maybe that's why she's getting kicked in the face. Maybe it's actually Amaka's pizza. And she wanted to eat a slice. And then Kaz will come here and kick Amaka in the face. How's that? I think that's how I headcanon this situation to go down. The menu's been changed from pizza to shoe. But yes, there shall be pizza. And now, 3 hours into the stream, and probably 6 or 7 renders later, I realize I have not saved this scene yet. So, I'm going to quickly do that, so that I don't lose this. No capital. There we go. And I'll save this. Let's save you as a face kick. But I can type. I mean, there's only so many different ways you can kick somebody. So, yeah. Now let's get a tiny pizza in here. Pizza pack. Let's get a box of pizza in here. Where's the scene origin? There it is. That's a very low quality pizza. Alright, let's try and get the scale right. I'm not actually 100% certain you'll be able to see the pizza, but for the sake of science, it must be tried. There we go. Now rotate it like this. Yeah, my face is pretty low quality. Yeah, I kinda expected this. I kinda saw this coming. Not sure. Not sure what I should do now. There's gotta be something I can do about this. I don't know. I guess we'll just have to do it. I mean, in the end, it's just a fucking Easter egg anyway, so that's fine. Let's give it one last preview render, and then I think it's about a pizza printer. We have finally solved world hunger. We created an object that can turn paper into pizza. Guys, you're a damn genius. Why aren't we funding this? Because the Italian mafia is like, no, pizza must be handmade. I mean, I did kind of short sell you on yesterday's render by not doing that with the pizza slice in the mouth. So I mean, the best way to get it is do it yourself, right? And not being able to spell correctly is fine. We are very tolerant of the spellingly challenged. Like myself. Well, pizza does not necessarily equal pizza. And personally, my favorite type of pizza is Italian pizza. And also, Virtuous, I think you just made an enemy. I think you've just made a mortal enemy. Yes, you have made a mortal enemy. I am very sorry about this. Yes, Italian pizza is very much pizza. Interesting concept there, Kaz. Pineapple pizza. Don't even get me started on pineapple pizza. Fuck pineapple pizza. And Italian pizza is like paper? That depends on, like, there are many different types of Italian pizza. Like, there's different crust thickness that you get with different types. Like, I've been in Rome once for like a week, and there were so many different types of pizzas there. Like you get the really paper thin crust, which I don't really like that much. But then they have like the ones which are like, I don't know, maybe like 3 millimeters or 4 millimeters thick. That's pretty damn good. But I do have to admit, I do like the Chicago style the most as well. Like, the Chicago style that you get at like Pizza Hut or Domino's, that's my favorite. But I have a soft spot for the Italian style thin crust pizza as well. But ultimately, it's pizza dough with pizza toppings and a pizza sauce. Therefore, it is pizza. And therefore, I shall eat it as long as it doesn't have prawns or pineapple or like seafood in general. Other than that, I basically eat probably everything on pizza. Like, from the normal pizza toppings. Cazador, I think we can get along just fine. Tee hee hee. Just fine indeed. Pizza with Nutella, that's a thing? Pizza with Nutella? That's a thing? You sir are crazy. Pizza with barbecue, have I had that yet? Not that I can think of. I mean, I guess tomato is kind of sweet, so maybe the chocolatey texture from Nutella will actually sort of work. Unless, like, it's something different, like... I mean, if it's, like, with Nutella instead of tomato sauce, like... That's, like, strange, but... And, yeah, barbecue sauce is sweet, so I guess if you have a barbecue sauce pizza, that's probably sweet. But yeah. At least you don't have a low sodium diet, that's good. So, yeah. We just went from movies to series to back to movies to pizza. So is life when Casadora is in your chat. And you know what? That's perfectly okay with me. Alright, so I think I'm pretty happy with this winner now. Do you want to hear more about our Lord and Savior, the pizza? Can you spare a moment? Oh, I see you. I see you. Pay you with something? Elaborate. Then I'll consider it. Save. Where is it? It is. I'm too lazy. Okay? I'm too lazy to go into the file and fix it. It's concrete wall dark. And I don't even fix it the way you tell me to fix it. I fix it my own way. By my own way, I mean taking the material from somewhere else. Oh, that's not great, that's dark. I know what I'm doing. I lie, I don't know what I'm doing. Gonna run that one last time so there's a little bit more time to chat. Teehee. Hey, I may not be doing the fix that you mentioned, but I am still using your materials, which work. And also, I wouldn't need to fix them every time if we have packed it up properly the first time. What do you mean work-ish? It works. I don't think any of those materials don't work. I don't think any of them don't work. Yeah. Oh, I'm the guinea pig. Okay. So, bug report. That fucking wall texture is broken. Fix it. Yeah, I was actually going to ask you about that. Like, they look pretty fucking amazing. I was going to ask if you could maybe throw them my way. I mean, it's just me asking you for more stuff now, but 99. 99. How about 69? Oh god, that was awkward. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Here's a better plan. How about I get it free? Free of charge. I think that's pretty fair. And yet I am testing it for you. This isn't Steam Greenlight. I briefly considered just turning on the webcam and setting it up for webcam and everything just to glare at you for a minute. So, feel glared at for a minute. Ah, just kidding. Just kidding. Partially. Still love you though. It's all good. PSD's really not bad. Like, every single PSD you ever, that was included in a file you ever sent to me didn't work, but, okay. Probably only has, like, bare bones support by default in Blender. Which wouldn't surprise me, to be perfectly honest. No PSDs? That's good. Nah, it's alright. You didn't miss anything. I mean, you missed the dumb jokes, but it's fine. Hey, no, we don't talk about that, Kaz. Not here. Not here. We'll talk about that later, though. Hint, hint, wink, wink. If you like an emote, then you probably also like the Binding of Isaac. Unless you just like the emote. Which I guess is technically possible. It's annoyingly bug. Hehe. Don't worry, we're all slightly challenged in our spelling capabilities, so it's all good. It's all good indeed. I mean, if you see my Discord messages, like, at least half of them are edited. Oh, if you're typing on phone, then I don't even... If you're typing from phone the whole time, then I'm actually impressed with your spelling. Like that. That was just a perfect example of like a tiny keyboard typing. All right. I think this is ready for rendering. Now to figure out the actually, what's the noisiest area? Okay, I'm gonna have to check this area here and this area. This area. Fucking face being kicked. Alright, I'm going to hazard a guess and I'm going to need 45. And I'll put up to 100. Phone keyboards are the gift that just keep on giving. Now we'll get at 1 to 1. I think that's good enough. See, typo's not all that bad. You made us all laugh now. At least made me laugh. I don't know if you made yours laugh. But a bit noisy when you zoom in, but I think it should be fine for it at full res. So I can't really tell. Can't really tell at all, so I'm gonna cancel this and get this beautiful section. And then cry a little bit when I see I would need way more samples. Embarrassed yourself. Embarrassed how? I mean, it's descriptive. And since it's apparently the beta version, it doesn't need to have like the fancy title like Pop Cazadora in classic outfit number 3 or something. Or remastered original outfit number 3. That's the one. Is that good enough? Is that good enough? That's good enough. Alright. That's good enough. So, going to save it. Put the threads to 6. Well, what do you think you would look like if you've just been kicked in the fucking face? Nobody looks right when they're kicked in the face. But, yeah. There we go, limited edition Pop Cazadora Remastered main outfit number 3. That's the one. Not every single one of your file needs to be named that way. Just, just the limited edition Pop Cazadora Remastered main outfit number 3 needs to be called that. And since beta version, you don't even need to call it background city, APB preloaded, cycles, materials, building pack, advanced version 5. So, yeah, I think that's about it for this render. And because this has actually been going on longer than the last two streams, I mean, I'll unfortunately, fortunately, whatever you want to think, going to call it an end here. Now, I won't be streaming tomorrow, that's for sure, because tomorrow I'll be busy. And then I'll want to be able to play video games, but I will be streaming the day after tomorrow, so on Thursday. And yeah, I'll be trying. I'm gonna have to try and come up with something to render on Thursday. Might do your request of videos, but might not. Might have to do something on my own. There are still some renders out there that I wanted to do, but well, I say there are some renders out there that I wanted to do. There are renders I want to do, some of which I can't stream, some of which I don't want to stream, and some of which are not ready yet. Where I still need to do lots of preparation, need to think about details, and the likes of that. And then there's obviously also the big projects, also secret projects, things I'm not allowed to, can't, or don't want to post publicly like this. Don't have enough requests open to do that. And I mean, I haven't done a render on stream of Whiskey yet, apart from a singular pose. So maybe I can try and think of something with her. But yeah, at least for today. And basic, no, yeah, I think about wraps up Jens's request here. I'm going to render it overnight because this is going to take forever. And yeah. Porn? I'm not rendering porn, what are you talking about? I don't render porn. You know I don't render porn, it's not porn. Yeah, did I say it often enough? Besides, that falls both into the category don't want to stream and I'm not allowed to stream. Cats. And yeah, the render I'll post it tomorrow morning I say morning, when I get up at 12. And yeah, I'll be streaming again on Thursday, as I said, and probably around the same time. So maybe be ready next time, so I don't miss the first 10 minutes. And yeah, I'll catch you all where I see you normally.